Hi there, this is Sherry Lee Myers. Welcome to How to Connect with Angels. We believe that no matter what, every person has the unconditional love and help of angels, our messengers from God. But we have to be willing to believe, and we have to be willing to ask. That's what our film, The Glitch, that we are shooting here in New Orleans is all about, with the help of some amazing music and talent. If you're curious, visit us at theglitchmovie.com and take a look. But now, right now, let's talk to someone who's devoted to helping us make a divine connection. Ivan Pozo, also known as Atreo, is the author to the angelic channeled spiritual wisdom series called Jewels of Truth. He describes himself as an angelic oracle imagineer, a mystic sage with a visionary, innovative outlook. That means he channels both spiritual wisdom and unique conceptual designs. For the last 11 years, Ivan has blogged Atreo's Oracle that offers a sampling of his clairvoyant automatic writing with the angels. To learn more, please visit his website at jewelsoftruth.us. Hello, Ivan Pozo, How are you?
Good, and how are you in Orleans?
New Orleans, yeah.
New Orleans.
And you are in Sarasota, Florida?
Yes, correct.
It's pretty down there, huh?
Yes, usually. Now we're in the rainy season, so other than that.
Yeah. We get your rain and you get our rain in New Orleans. It's a rainstorm almost every day. You have lived through rainstorms in your life, and we're going to really talk a lot about that because I'm really moved by the breadth of what you do and your commitment to your mission, I guess.
Calling.
Can we call it a
yes.
mission? Your calling? Okay. Because here's what I want people to know. That Ivan is an intuitive spiritual wisdom author. He has written the Jewels of Truth series, which is 3 volumes. 3 volumes, folks, with over 2,200 statements, and it's growing. And when we say he is an intuitive spiritual wisdom author, that means he channels. He does automatic writing, and I'm taking this out of your bio, via the angelic host. So, wow. And you also, you channel designs, innovative designs, and fortunately you have a blog site, Atreo's Oracle, where we can go and we can avail ourselves of some of your writing. So, wow, you got it all, like really putting it out there, for people to sink their teeth into something that's very, very rich. Let's talk about how you got to these 2,200 statements. Before that, what was your life like? How did you discover this gift?
Well, I first discovered it. I had started my spirituality journey when I was 16, and then I stayed with it for about 3 years, and then when I was 19 years old in high school, I heard my first, I guess, angel or spirit guide, and at first I thought I was losing my lid. I thought I was going crazy, but it was always gentle. It never forced itself on me, and it always responded when I spoke or made the inquiry to make sure it wasn't my ego or something like that.
Now, you mentioned in your pre-interview that you were going through a pretty rough time.
Yes.
Can you talk about that? Because what I find extremely moving about your work is that you really do allow for that dark side, that dark night of the soul, and clearly you were going through it, weren't you?
Yes, as a teenager, like all of us, but I guess for my history, I had depression, clinical depression, and anxiety, generalized anxiety, And I was struggling with that. There had been a history of it in my family, so it reared its head when I was a teenager, when I was growing up.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, and I guess that was the basis of what I considered at the time a minefield, but it was a cornucopia of emotions that led me to going within and discovering, I guess, the treasures of heaven, because I kept on going within, because I was always escaping as a dreamer,
Mm-hmm.
and then when the angels appeared, I thought, oh wow, well, what is this? And I followed it, like going down the rabbit hole.
Okay, now help me out. I really want to experience what you experienced when you first experienced your angels. When you say that, what was that like? What happened?
Well, a male voice started speaking to me, very soft, it was almost like a whisper.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't a voice, it was more like a thought that wasn't my own.
Uh-huh.
It was telepathic, yeah, one could say.
Yes.
And it was always gentle, and it always had a deep softness,
Mm.
and and
Mm.
I paid attention.
Ah, that's beautiful.
Hmm.
That's a beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it. And you knew because of the energy.
Yes, it always
Yes.
appeared sort of like a flash of a thought coming across my mind.
Mm-hmm. And you were a teenager and you had been experiencing depression and anxiety. And did this change your life? Did it help? What happened as a result of this?
Well, it didn't change it overnight. I
Right.
still had to live my life, but
Yeah.
I stuck with it, and the more that I stuck with it, the more I transformed in my spirit, and now I guess I'm thankful for that young version of myself, and I'm sort of living on that inheritance that I continued with it.
I would love to know, what are your techniques? How do you do that? How do you raise your vibration? How do you connect?
Well, for me, I first started through contemplation, since I'm more intellectual, although I try to be more of an omnivert, which is sort of like half introvert and half extrovert, to try to
Mm-hmm.
find a middle ground. But by contemplating, I focused on one thought, and I just started piecing things together, and then it just coalesced from there.
Wow. That's who's channeling to you now, the angelic host, correct?
Yes, it's one angel, one entity at a time. Yes.
Yes?
Hmm. But I'm not usually pigeonholed to one spirit guide.
Mm-hmm.
I have access to like over a dozen, and I've also, by curiosity, have reached out to some that will be considered like Mother Mary,
Mm-hmm.
or even Christ, but I get intimidated, so I don't usually me- always go to them. I will go to the angel whoever's on duty with me, which I
Mm-hmm.
call desk duty.
Desk
So,
duty. I love that. I love that. So is that part of your everyday process?
in part, whenever I feel that I'm lacking or I need more information, I sort of have access to I guess, what could be called the mind of God, what New Agers would call the Akashic records. And according to my pipe, or what I call my pipe, my talent, my ability, I receive it in simplicity and in a piecemeal, and then I just start gathering it, and you could say in a way I regurgitate it on my blog site and share it that way.
This is some material that is, oh, surprising you, correct?
Oh yes, astonishing me.
I love that. That's
They
amazing.
they use simplicity and with what I know, and they draw paradoxes, a contrast, and I'm able to use analogies, and then that elaborates, and I grow from that.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm writing, I usually get out of the way and they come through,
Mm-hmm.
and then it comes through in a much cleaner way than if I'm talking like right now.
Sure.
Hmm.
Sure. Now, uh, why do you think the angels are making themselves known in this way through you right now? What's going on in the world?
Well, what has always been going on, but now on a much greater scale because there's more people on the world. But why me? I guess I always liked the explanation that the late Dr. Wayne Dyer used,
Yes.
that before we were born, we all made an agreement and to do what is our highest calling.
Yes.
And I guess I was ready enough that they reached out to me, and I continued with it. So I followed my bliss.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the rest I've awakened in a orderly fashion, because some of these abilities at the beginning I had no idea that I would come walk into.
Wow. Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
So it keeps expanding.
yes. Right now I'm exercising, you could say, my soul with prayer at a distance, like spiritual healing.
Mm-hmm.
I usually don't talk about that much, but it takes a lot out of me. So uh, it's just a lot of practice.
You're tuning your skills there to do long
Yes.
distance spiritual healing.
Or
Wonderful.
also healing myself when I need be. Yes.
Mm-hmm. What would you like to say about the healing prayer and healing yourself and
Yes. Well, everyone is capable. Everyone is their soul is like a spiritual muscle. If you don't exercise it, it doesn't do much for you. But once you start developing it through faith and openness to the benevolence within, it gets stronger with as you develop your relationship with God, or whatever higher power you revere.
mm-hmm.
And in that, usually in the prayer practice I mentioned is to pray like 5 or 10 minutes a day,
Mm-hmm.
and pray for a period of around 8 weeks. And in holding that intention, basically you start seeing results. It may
Mm-hmm.
not be like like harps and everything, but in a relative way, it'll start having a positive effect on your life or on the one that you're praying for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're opening the channel. I have something that I pulled from one of your oracles. And I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to read it to you and I wanted people to hear this because I think it's a great example of the real depth and poetry that Ivan is flowing. I think that's what I'm going to say, flowing. And as a writer, I very much appreciate this. And that's why I wanted to honor you with just this reading. And then if you wanted to comment on it and talk about it a little bit, because I found it particularly amazing. So here it is. It's 2286.
2286. Let
Okay.
me see.
All right.
Is it? Oh yeah, my most recent one on Life Wish.
There we go. And this is the
Yes.
paragraph that caught my eye that I'd like to talk about. You say, or you write, or you channel,
Yes. The
however you want to put it.
angels. Yeah.
The angels ask you to convey this message, which is that every life has an intrinsic reason for being alive, right here and now, within this material creation. There are no accidents, plain and simple as to the purpose-driven reincarnations of our united souls through Almighty God. All have elegant meaning and an overriding joy to exist abundantly, for the nature of God decrees it is so. We are each blades of grass in the fields of a created paradise that expand easily in concentric circles unto great empires out amongst the stars as gigantic civilizations. Wow.
That's the opening paragraph.
That's
Yes.
beautiful. So y'all, anybody listening, Ivan has, I would say a river of unbelievably interesting and beautiful and stirring work that is available on his blog, and it's called, what's it called? It's called
Atreus Oracle.
Atreus Oracle. For 11 years now. Oh my goodness. 11 years you've been doing this. That's really, really cool. So I wanted to talk about your 3 books, okay? Because this is where people can go online and they can take something that they can have at home and then they can highlight all of the really great passages, which is what I do. So tell us about the Jewels of Truth.
Well, although the blog site, I've written around 2,200. Between the 3 books, there are about 1,095 of these Jewels of Truth statements. Some of them are shorter, like Proverbs, that are published. So to draw that contrast, they're not all 2,000 in the books.
Right.
But basically, it's a multi-volume series. It's like this ongoing dialogue that I'm having with the angels through writing. And through the first book, you could see how my writing has differed from what you see right now with statement 2286 on Life Wish. I'm evolving as a person and as a soul through my. I guess all this writing through me for these 21 years has transformed me within, and I'm sort of like a young sage and a mystic in a way. So all that, you pretty much get it in writing in the books.
Tell me, we have 3 volumes that are available.
Any major online book seller, Amazon will do, Barnes & Noble, just put in Jewels of Truth.
Okay.
And they should pop up.
Great. Tell me, what is your dream with your work?
Well, my dream, I guess, is to be able to do this for a living. But aside from that, I guess what the angels want from all of us is to reconnect with their own, with everyone's own divinity, to follow their bliss, but to do it in such a way that it doesn't negate anybody else from doing it. So basically, not to trump anyone else, but everyone shares and grows in this together.
Yes, that's right. Everybody is blades of grass in the fields of a created paradise that expand easily in concentric circles into great empires. That's a huge vision. I can see why, you are also interested, or you are also, I'm not going to say interested, you're actually creating innovative design, and, you're looking at that as something else that is coming through you.
Yes, these are like conceptual designs. You could say I'm sort of like an inventor, but I'm borrowing the vision of the angels.
Yeah.
And you could call me a visionary, but or just an innovator. And I put those out there as inspirations for designers. And there are a whole bunch of different arrays, either for commerce, for charities, for government, what have you. There are over 200 in these past 11 years that are on the blog site.
Okay.
But I have many more 100, I guess, in my notebooks. But those are the major ones, I suppose.
So all of this is just there to share, huh? That's pretty amazing.
To inspire, yes.
To inspire
and if anyone,
share. Good for you. That's really beautiful.
Jewelsoftruth.us.
Okay, jewelsoftruth.us, and that is Yes.
Yes, I my books are shown there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's a my blog site is also available there. But I
Okay.
also do one-on-one with people. If they have a question, I'm not a traditional psychic. If they want to ask me about money, fortune, love life, I really don't help them in that way. I'm more of like talking to a Yoda or or like a
Mm,
priest, and in a way I could help them in that way.
mm,
So it's
mm-hmm,
more the mystical end of being a sage.
mm-hmm,
hmm
mm-hmm.
I'm
Wow.
also, yeah, I'm also available at Fiverr.com,
Uh-huh.
which at a much cheaper rate.
If there's one overwhelming thought or wish that the angels have for us, earth angels, what is that? What is that?
Well, we never left heaven.
Oh,
We are simply reborn in a different form. Our souls are multidimensionally, meaning we could be in more than two places at once. And
mhm.
basically, we have been transformed, like you could say, like a butterfly from. So we're here on Earth with our human bodies, but we're also there in heaven with God in our souls. We never left.
If you liked this recording and benefited from it, please, for heaven's sake, share it with your friends. If you loved it and want to hear more, go to theglitchmovie.com/how to connect with angels, where you can listen and subscribe. Thank you so much.